opening the hood. Hello everybody, good day to you. Check that out. Triple digit day. It is stupid hot today. I'm gonna try to work on this, I think it's a 2004 Ford Mustang GT. I don't know the engine size yet. I think it's a 4.6. Customer states steering is loose. I think maybe it wanders while driving. Let's go ahead and put this up on the rack inside. Take a look down below. See what ails her deep within. Wow, look at that. This particular Mustang has 47,357 miles on the odometer. How about that? It's a brand new car. Oh, silly me, I was way off. Look at that, built in 06 of 98. This is a 1998 Ford Mustang GT with a 4.6. Ding, ding, and she's super clean too. Oh no. Oh no, look at that. The rear view mirror fell off. It's not okay. I should take this off, I think. Hot. Ooh, hot, 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 hot. The amulet is hot. Hot. Yeah, everything's hot. I bet ambient air inside of this car is about 140 degrees right now. Good thing we have air conditioning. Let me get this connector disconnected and we'll get on with the program here. I see it. That was a two-handed operation, and then I touched that metal piece and then burnt my hand. Yeah, it's a warm kind of day today. Let me change my mind real quick on the fly. Let's go out for a test drive and see what the steering feels like on this Mustang. Plus, I haven't driven a 50,000 mile 1998 Mustang in a very long time. I kind of want to just drive this car. Park this out. Open sesame. Close sesame. Let's get out of here. Ring, ring. Oh, look at here, look. Yeah, something's going on with this steering. Look at that. Steering wheel to the left. It just kind of stays. Yeah, something's going down with this thing. It appears to be binding. Let's head over the bridge, pick up some speed, see how it feels going a little bit faster, and then we'll get it up on the rack for a visual inspection. Yep, stays left, it stays right, it stays left. Okay, confirmed. Nope, not gonna do it. I'm just not gonna do it. I can wait. All right, and we're off. And at 60 miles per hour, that sticking steering wheel business is doing the same thing. It does not recover back to straight line driving. I don't like it. It's kind of unstable. It feels dangerous. I wonder if it cooled down any while we were gone. Let's see, thermal meter. Oh look, 100.9. I guess it didn't cool off while we were gone. Okay, it's hotter. Anyway, let's nose this thing in. We'll get the rack set up and take a look down below, see what's going on with our steering system. Right about here. That's good. Parking the auto. Firing down. And the late 90s Ford ding still haunts me. Whew. All right, let's see what we got under the hood down here. What's going on? Where's our latch at? There she is. The yellow Ford latch. 4.6. Is that a 2-valve? Yes, that's a 2-valve 4.6. Nice. Pretty clean in here too. She's looking really nice. There we go. Let's see if we have a steering leak or something. And now the fluid's full. Wow, look at that. This thing has Hydro Boost. Check this out. Look. It has power steering assisted vacuum boost. No brake booster. I did not know that the Mustangs had a Hydro Boost. No way. Wow, this thing's a nice car. It really is. Okay. Okie dokes, the rack is set. Let's get this thing up in the air. There we go, that's good. On the locks for safety. All right, so down below, taking a look at our steering, we've got our outer tie rod, inner tie rod, steering gear, also known as rack and pinion, and get on the other side. I don't see any leaks, so the bushings on the steering gear aren't falling out of it. Actually, yeah, they are. Look, 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 look. That's starting to tear and come out. I mean, I don't think that's their problem. Let's pry bar this thing and see if it moves. All right, pry bar coming in. Nah, that movement's minimal. I think that is a problem, but it's not the problem. Yeah, I don't think that's so much the issue at hand here. It's not the greatest. It'll be hard to achieve a good wheel alignment, but that's not why the thing's sticking. Okay. Here, let's come out of here, and we'll try to turn these wheels. Oh, not rotate, but steer left and right. Maybe two-handed. I mean, yeah, they turn, but that's pretty tight, kinda. Yeah, that feels a little tight. I have an idea. Let me pull these wheels off real quick. Incoming pry driver. Do we have wheel locks in here? Negative. Awesome. Incoming loud noises. Get this wheel off. I'm gonna pull the other side off too. Because what we're gonna do is we're gonna isolate components in the steering system. Light's dying. And we're gonna isolate components. See what's going on with the that binding business. All right, let's cruise on over to the driver's side. We'll pull that wheel. And what I'm gonna do is pull tie rods, and we're gonna rotate the steering knuckles because I want to see if one of the ball joints is binding, sticking, and not allowing the wheel to turn freely without excessive friction. NASCAR! No, lost the race. Come here, wheel. Okay, I'm gonna try to turn this knuckle. The brakes are hot. As far this way as we can. Everything's hot. So we can work on our little tie rod right here. Raw He-Man strength. No time for tools. I'm just kidding. I can't pull cotter pins out by hand. It's like, I just can't do it. It'd be cool if I could, but I can't, so I won't. I'd like to try. All right, reverse impacts coming in. That's an 18 millimeter. Let's get that guy off. Come here, Rust-O-Matic too. All right, here, let me scoot you guys over. We need to get some linear impact action on the steering knuckle right here. We need to jar this piece here so that the tie rod shaft will come out of the knuckle. I wanted to get a puller on there, but this boot is flared in such a way and staked on where I can't get a puller behind it without damaging the boot. So we're gonna have to do this the hammer method. Seriously? I don't want to hit it that hard. I'll tear the boot, or hit the boot, then tear the boot. Oh! No way. Escalation level 2 coming in. All right, we're gonna have to do this with the pneumatic gun. It gives me more impacts in a more controlled fashion because I don't want to tear that boot just in case there's nothing wrong with this tie rod. Got it. Okay. Ooh, what do we have here? See that? That is requiring much more force than it should to turn. That is a sticking ball joint. 100%. And look at here. The boot's torn off of it. You can see, yeah, that inside of that ball joint's all crudded up. That's no good. Let's see if we can watch it turn here. Yeah, it binds. It's binding right there. Okay. Give me ball joint on this side. Let's go check the other side over here. This one should be able to turn much more freely. Hot. Hot. Yeah, not really. Let's go ahead and pull this one apart too, just to make sure. I mean, it looks okay, the boot's not torn, but you never know. All right, we'll go through this one kind of quick. One more time, cotter pin, and we'll pull this tie rod out and check this other side. Like I said, I didn't feel this one binding, but it has lived a similar life as the other side, so we don't know. We're gonna find out right now. All right, reverse torque on our nut. Get rid of you. Goodbye, nut. Pneumatic impacts coming in. Loud. Thread on there, please. All the way. That'll do it. I meant to do that. Oh, this thing's, that's bound up pretty good too. Yeah, that one's not the greatest. Okay. Yeah, I think we're gonna do a front end rebuild on this a little bit. Let's lose the ball joints. I'd like to put tie rods on it. That's pretty stiff. And if they don't want to rotate, oh yeah, if these don't want to rotate, or these and these are combining up, it's going to prevent this thing from swinging back to its neutral position. So we're going to have to put in some front end parts on this and go from there. We're going to go ahead and execute the full Monty on these repairs. It's going to end up being the lower ball joints, the outer tie rods. We're going to put some shocks and struts in it too, because this stuff's pretty worn out. So let's get it apart. I'm going to start with the caliper here. We'll pull the two caliper bolts out. Hang the caliper over there on the frame somewhere, and then we'll get after the ball joint. Let's see how this is going to work out for us here. There we go. Ooh, we need some lubricant in there. That's it's not going to work out. Brake pads are good. Okay, let's figure out how to safely hang up this caliper so it doesn't fall down and damage the hose. See here, thinking through there, and then up on that bolt maybe. I don't like that. Here, we'll hang it off of the fender liner. There we go, perfect. All right, so because this ball joint bolt is kind of captured by these strut bolts, let's just go ahead and pull these guys out right now. Loud noises. Wrong socket too. What is this? Let's try the 24, because it's not the 22. There we go. Wrench on the other side to hold the bolt. Beautiful. We're good. Number 2. You know, I'm thinking that this flipping, flopping rotor is going to be annoying. So we're going to pull that off too. Right? Wrong. Yep, it's gonna be annoying. Okay, we need to get this bolt out of the way. It's loose, but it's still got a little bit of pressure on it, so I'm just gonna kind of tap that thing through. Turn. There, now it's out of the way. Yeah, like I said, it's got some pressure on it, not a boatload. Just enough to be annoying. Manual reverse clicks. Since the impact's not gonna do it. There we go. That one. Bottom one. Oh, come on now. No, don't do that. The spindle's trying to turn. There we go. Woohoo! Violent. There. Okay. Brackets off. Rotor's off. Things are out of the way. So we're gonna put some spring pressure up on the coil spring. See that? All right, cotter pin. Let's dig this thing out of here. That's made out of rust. It almost broke in half just now. That's nasty. Nasty pin. Come on out. Oh good, it's moving. Leverage, increasing leverage. Oh, there. Okay, 24 coming in. That's for our ball joint bolt. Ooh, tight squeeze. I can't fit in there. But my wobbly bits can. There we go. So much for that idea. Aye, aye, aye. Let's put this back. Stay up there. There we are. All right, let's free up the top of the spindle and knock that upper bolt out. It's got some pressure on that. More than I had anticipated. It's taking pressure off of our punch. Now, knuckles free. There we go. Now I can let this down a little bit. Get a good view of that nasty ball joint. Ruined. Alrighty, so next up, we need to free this ball joint stud from that steering knuckle. So I'm gonna hit that with some pneumatic impacts. And we're gonna try to jar this loose. If it doesn't work, we'll escalate from there. This might work. Ow. It's not working. Okay. Alright, I might have some success with a pickle fork on this. I might not. But it's worth a shot. That way the armchairs don't have to go, did you ever hear of a pickle fork? Ha ha ha. So we're gonna try to get one of those in there and see if we can't drive this thing in to separate. Maybe we'll get some pressure on it and we'll run the impact. Whatever we gotta do. Gotta do what we gotta do. Okay, it's going in. We're getting some upward pressure. Back it up some. Get some bigger impacts here with the larger hammer. See what happens. Don't slip and hit your hand. It will hurt. Ask me how I know. Oh. All right. Did it work? Nope. All right, everybody, this is absolutely horrible, and my heart sank when I realized the shocking truth that the audio has become corrupted from the GoPro. I had no idea what was going on, so my choices are either to abandon this entire video and then not post it at all and not have anything to do for tomorrow, or I would attempt to recover it simply by use of a voiceover. So that's what we're going to try to do. Now, as we just saw, the pickle fork didn't work. Hitting the thing with the air hammer didn't work. Hitting it with a regular hammer didn't work. So I'm going to try various ball joint pullers to attempt to remove this one. This right here is not actually a ball joint puller. I believe it's a pitman arm puller. Either way, it will work just the same. However, slight issue is that I think it's a little too wide, and it appears that as I'm tightening the thing down, it is starting to slip out from the steering knuckle. So that one's out. I'm going to try a smaller one. I didn't really want to use this one because I'm afraid of breaking it. Plus, the threaded rod actually has a pointed end, and this ball joint stud is flat, and I was afraid it was going to dull the pointy end on the threaded rod. But it's the only tool that I had that was going to fit, so send it. And it's also slipping. Yep, try again. That one's not going to work out. Negatory. What am I doing? So it slipped off, but I'm going to try it again. I knew better. I knew better, but I just had to try again. It's in my nature. Oh, a third time. Yeah, it's just, I'll hold it by hand. No wonder I have trolls. Seriously? I can make whole videos on me just trolling myself. This is ridiculous. First time didn't work. Yeah, there you go. Give up, Ray. Good. Okay, we're going to put the nut back on. Ah, that puller. This is my favorite puller, but I lost the little flat bearing end that goes in the end of the threaded shaft. And this one's my favorite because it's adjustable and it fits like everything. Question is this one gonna work? I think it's gonna work. We've already jarred the knuckle plenty by hitting it with hammers. This totally should work. So I've tightened the thing down by hand, and a bunch of sweat just squirted out of my glove. Did you see that? That was kind of gross. Anyway, I'm gonna tighten this thing down. This thing is actually taking a lot of torque, and it's flexing my snap. Whoa, there it goes. Okay. It's off, or something broke. After a quick examination of my ratchet, I realize it is not broken, and looks like the ball joint has come free. Good. Now it is time to get out the ball joint press and get ready to push this thing out of the control arm. I think I tore this nasty boot off. Oh yeah, some lube. Yep. This is a press in, press out type of ball joint. Put some spray on it. Yeah, there we go. Let's tear off this torn boot and see the carnage inside. It's pretty crudded up. It's been exposed to atmosphere and road grime and dirt for a while, so that stuff just ground away at the ball and socket joint. All right, we're coming in with the ball joint press. Since I tore away the boot, I could just put the press directly on the face of the ball joint. This part is hard metal, and it should push the socket section of the joint out with relative ease. Over here on the bottom side, we're going to go ahead and put in the adapter that's going to allow the bottom of this ball joint to slip through the control arm as we begin the press. With a couple quick hits from the impact, it's pressed right out. Got it. And all over the floor. We'll give this surface a quick wipe down. It's covered in lube and there's some dirt, so I'll wipe that stuff off. The inside looks good, and it is prepared to press in the new ball joint. Nothing special, run-of-the-mill aftermarket ball joints. They're built to last. So anyway, to press this ball joint in, we simply flip over the adapters, leaving room for the stud of the ball joint to pass through the center hole on the upper adapter and through the hole on the C-clamp looking portion, the green section of the ball joint press. Now that I've got the bottom adapter over the metal part of the ball joint, socket joint, we'll get the screw in and tight and prepare to put some torque on the screwing section of the tool, and then we'll press this joint up and into the control arm. All right, this side is done. We're gonna go ahead and move around to the passenger side. Again, I will pull off this crusty pinned brake caliper, get this thing removed. Yeah, that's nasty. There's just one pin, so we rock the caliper out, and then it slides off of the second pin, which is just screwed into the caliper bracket. And I learned my lesson. The thing kept falling down, so I'm zip tying these up now. The little hooks kept giving way when I was hitting this thing with the air hammer. There's a lot of torque on these caliper bracket bolts. Again, it was flexing the ratchet. There it goes. You see the dust smoke coming off of the bolts when it breaks loose. All right, so I learned from the other side that this 24 millimeter bolt right here in the top of the strut is in the way of me reaching that 15 millimeter bolt for the top of the brake caliper bracket, which was quite annoying. I probably could have got it with a wrench, but I have power tools. All right, the cotter key's coming out. This one just broke apart into pieces. It's actually pretty crusty. Let's get our bottom bolt. I'm flirting with fire here. I didn't bring the jack stand over. Yeah, we'll just pull the bolts out with spring pressure. It's fine. There's 2 bolts in there. See the second one? I'm just getting it loose. Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're preparing to relieve the spring pressure, right? No? Let's just hammer them out. Why not? Living on the edge. Trolls entering chat. Let's take the ball joint nut loose next. No, not all the way. See, we're still safe. Look. If I'm lucky, the spring pressure will just break the ball joint loose. But it's probably not going to happen. Those things were stuck in there pretty good. I don't think they've ever been removed. Yep, jack's coming up. There goes some spring pressure. Tap the upper bolts out for the steering knuckle. There is still some pressure there, but it's not like it would be if the spring had its way with those bolts. Oh, I didn't get a chance to explain the claw hammer. See, my medium hammer is at my house and not here, and I didn't want to use the big giant hammer, so the only intermediate hammer that I had between my large hammer and my small hammer is this particular claw hammer. You see, it could be argued by some that a claw hammer actually has no business being in an automotive shop, because that tool is for pulling nails out and prying up pieces of wood. And we're not doing any of those things in the shop. So technically that tool should not be there. Hey look, wife unit is here. She wants something. I wonder what it is. I think she was getting ready to go home actually. Anyway, we're getting this puller set back up. You'll notice that I put that nut over the ball joint stud. And again, that's there to keep the end of that puller from sliding off the top of the stud. So we're turning this knuckle and getting out of the way. We've got to put this in a position where we can get good leverage and a good pull on the assembly. Torque's coming up. This is the moment where tools break. It's always cringy. 2 hands on it. The second hand is so it doesn't put a side... Whoa. It's so you can hold everything straight and not put a side load on the tool, on the puller. And that can help with preventing the puller from sliding off of the work. Well, it probably wouldn't slide, but it could twist or end up turning at an angle, and that could make it slip off. But then if it slips off, then it technically is sliding. Okay, we're going to do this differently. I think it'll work. I'm just going to go full savage on this with the big hammer. And I'm just going to beat this ball joint out of the control arm. I've still got the jack stand under it, so the control arm can't flex when I hit it with a hammer. And I don't really care about those threads. Yeah, look at that. With the pointy end, too. I'm just, like, going at it. It's totally going to work. Watch. This is great. Just annihilating this thing. Look. There we go. Yeah, it came right out. Super easy. That was kind of fun. So anyway, no, I'm not going to smash the new end with a hammer too much. I'm going to get it started a little bit and just get it secure. And then we'll finish it off with the actual ball joint press. Yeah, there we go, see? Got the see-through press cone. It's actually not see-through, so we can record it. I think there's a particular ball joint that specific adapter was made for, where the steering knuckle was in the way or something like that, or you had to press it off the knuckle. You couldn't remove the knuckle from the ball joint. It's there for a reason. Anyway, this tool's all set up. Just press this thing in now. All right, looking good. It's in its home, good to go, but we're not done yet because these front struts are coming out and the rear shock absorbers are coming out. Fortunately, we've already done most of the work to get the struts out. So let's lower this thing down, and we should have just one more bolt, or nut rather, up at the top. And again, that's a little rusty. I'll spray some lube on it, hit it with an impact. This one's not coming out, it's actually turning this shaft, so I have to reach around and kind of put a side load on the strut, and it puts extra friction on the shaft, and that allowed the bolt to come off. And then the rubber mount, that just pops right out of that little bracket there. Same thing on the driver's side. I had to put a side load on the strut in order to generate friction. So we're going to go back up and moving around to the rear shock absorber. It's got one bolt on either side of the axle, and then one nut and one stud inside of the trunk. So we're pulling the wheels off, and again we'll fetch the jack stand and pull both of these lower bolts out. The bolt head is a 15 millimeter, and the nut is an 18 millimeter. And I'll just go in with a wobble drive and an 18. Pull that guy right off. So what's happening here is that the axle is trying to fall down farther than its current position, and the only thing stopping it is actually the shock absorbers. So technically the axle is just hanging off of these shocks. Therefore the axle is also hanging off of these bolts. Using the jack stand, we took some of that pressure off, and I'm just gonna slightly tap this bolt out. Hey look, I found a use for a claw hammer. Or I tried to. Nah. What am I doing? I'm claw hammering a shock absorber bolt out, seriously? It's awesome. It worked. Even the wrong hammer is still a hammer. Anyway, I'm letting this thing down. I need to scooch the jack stand over to the other side, and we'll just repeat the same procedure. I'm giving that shock a quick test. It compressed very easily. I'm not thrilled with it. By the way, I am so frustrated with the audio situation in this video that if you guys are still here, just thank you for that. I imagine a lot of people would have clicked away by now. I'm still upset about it as we go on. I'm just trying to sort of get through this and hope it never happens again. I probably need to get a better microphone. I think I'll get one of those Bluetooth microphones. Power Stroke Tech Talk from A-Rod sent me a link to a pretty good one. He says he switched to one of those wireless mics a few months ago, and it works much better than the GoPro mics. As I ramble on while I take this rusty bolt out. And again, thank you guys, because you're just sitting here listening to me ramble on about nonsense and YouTube truck channels while we take apart this crusty bolt. Oh, by the way, I'm not going to edit any of this audio. I'm just going to get through this and kind of observe and narrate as best I can. And if something happens here, it happens here. I'm not going to go back and go through and try to reshoot audio, because I don't like to do voiceovers. Like I said, I'm still really bothered that my camera's broken. But I suppose this is the lesser of two evils. It's like story time. Story time with Ray. There we go. Somebody called me, like, in the comments once, like the Bob Ross of auto mechanics. And I mean, I saw a Bob Ross video the other day, and I kind of get it, but I don't know if I'm a Bob Ross. I mean, Bob Ross is legendary. I'm just some guy. Okie dokes, I've had some parts delivery action. I've got a new shock absorber on the right and the old one on the left. Let's do a quick side-by-side comparison of these two units, and we'll just see how worn out the old ones really were versus the new ones. So the way I'm going to do this is we're just going to compress and observe. So observe, push that one down, real easy. Yeah, that's pretty easy to move. I can do it one-handed. This one, I gotta kind of put some weight on it. Okay, and you see the rebound's a little bit slower. Let's do a race. Let me get this first one compressed. Okay, definite improvement. Here, let us go ahead and get our hardware set up on this new shock. Oh, there she goes. Run away. Let's get the hardware set up and then get this new unit installed. And then that's going to slip on the interior underneath of that washer. So we're ready to roll. Take this guy right here, and what we're going to do is set it in position there, and we're going to run it up through the hole, and then down below I'm just going to put it right on top of that bracket for now. See that bracket? We'll just slide it right up there. So it's in position. We can go inside now and get the upper bolt installed. So what they gave us with the new shock is the new washer, a new bolt, and a new rubber grommet. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take this old piece of rubber off. Come here. We're gonna lose that one because I wish to use this one. I like these pieces of hardware better than the ones that came with it. I think they look nicer, and that's what we're gonna use if I can. There we go, get that guy started. All right, here's my impact. Oh no, never mind. That one's not gonna work. The threads don't engage. That shaft is larger. So it looks like I'm stuck with using the other hardware. I gotta use the stuff that came with it. That's fine. I wonder if that goes like that to match the taper. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's gonna go that way. Yeah, I've gotta use this one. No getting around it. All right, I had to switch my socket out to the 18 because that thing's larger. Send it, see what happens. All right, that's looking pretty good. We've got some thread exposed. I can feel that the grommet has been compressed. Let's take a look down here. That looks pretty good. Can't really see much, but from what I can see, it looks fine to me. So that one's in position. Let's grab the driver's side next. Bubble wrap removed. Oh, compressing. There we go. Extendo absorber. I need you, and you, you and you. Where's my nut? All right, same similar protocol on this other side. Take this guy, maneuver it on up into that hole right there, making sure that the cone part of that grommet goes into the hole. We'll give it a nice good tug. Slide that thing up. There we go. Cool, that's in position. Let's get it bolted on. Yipper, we can see the grommet came through. Let's set the new one up. And, oh, that one's taking a, there we go. Where's my gun? Oh, there we go. All right, that one's in. Let's check down below. Looking good. We're dangling. Very nice. Okay. I need now to put my premium, nice, super clean interior back together. All right, interior panels going back in. I think this one slips behind this one up here in the front. Let's just sneak that guy back around where it goes. Slide that in. Get in there. Ow. Sharp. It hurt my hand. Yeah, we'll toss the carpet back in. goes right there, and then our back panel will seal the deal here. All right, back panel coming in right here. It just kind of sits back. There's a notch. Well, it's not really a notch, but it's molded in the back to fit this, just like so. And we'll put our pins back in. Little push clips. There's 3 of them. Push them in. We're good. That's 2. Number 3 over here. And this section of the rear shock absorbers is complete. Move back up. All right, we're back up in the air. Let's get our pole jack under the axle. We'll pick the axle up and then get these bolts aligned, and then we can bolt these bottom bolts in, and this operation will be good. Come on up. Keeping an eye on the lift arm, because when picking things up like this, sometimes you can lift it up and it'll actually pick the vehicle up off of the lift arm on that corner. And that's a very unstable way of doing things. If the leverage isn't right, it's very possible. So far, so good. Got about another ½ inch to go. Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Almost there. And we're aligned. Unanimous. All right, bolt coming in. Well, now we were aligned. It's at a bit of an angle. It's not what I wanted. I wanted it to go in perfectly. But you can't always get what you want. I've seen that to my kid. She gets so mad. Because it's funny. Well, it's funny to me anyway. It's not really funny to her. That one's in. Let's move over. Grab the driver's side next. Coming down. Here, you guys come on over too. It's a bumpy ride. Ow. Got a couple inches to go on this one. More. 1 more inches to go. Still watching that lift arm on this side. ½ an inch. Uh-oh, we're starting to pick the car up. I saw it move. Okay. Well, we're gonna have to redo this one. Somehow, some way. Oh man, look, my pole jack is stuck. It didn't release, it's at an angle. What is this? I'll kick it. There. Stupid thing. Physics. So I need to move, I'm gonna move this over some just to kind of get better leverage on the situation here. It's all about leverage. I know it doesn't seem like much, but that little, like ½ an inch or whatever, or 1 inch might make a difference here. And I'm actually going to lower the vehicle down, because I also think I was running out of threads on the pole jack. Just a little bit. Sketchy. How's that? Didn't do anything. More. There. How's that? Oh, that worked. I win. And we're still picking the vehicle up off the ground a little bit, or off the lift. So that's why we have the 3-legged pole jack. It's less dangerous, sir. So basically I got this thing racked up with 3 lift arms holding the weight, and then the rest is supported with this jack right here. No matter. Impacts coming in. Begin tightening. we go. All right, let's raise it back up. And we are good. That is that. Rear shocks are in. Put this stuff aside. So at this point, I'm still on a parts hold. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pause on this Mustang, and I'm gonna go ahead and move on to some other things. I have we're doing some cleaning and detail work, so I'd like to get some of that done before the end of the day. So that being said, I think I'm gonna go ahead right now and close this video out. And I will do that as always by thanking all of you guys for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this ball joint / shock absorber video, please feel free to let me know about that in the comment section down below. Don't forget to tap that like button while you're down there, and most importantly, have yourselves a fantastic day. See you guys later in a video, in a Mustang, in a day, in a transmission.